Chapter 10. The trip to Diablo Luto was rough. A hard gravel road and lots of deep holes and steep hills along the way. I felt the springs in my seat bend and squish with each bounce. There was no top for the car, so air conditioning would have been pointless, as the sun was getting hotter. We were going along a surprisingly smooth stretch, and I took that opportunity to take in the area. I looked around either side of me and just saw miles of burnt desert and dead brush. Up ahead, I could see what looked like a town. I could make out it looked like a town. I could make out a few buildings, and as we got closer, I saw small things moving around which started to look like cars. It was hard to say for sure as we drove in a large cloud of dirt all the way. We were finally getting closer to town, and I was able to see more. It was small, about as small a town as I had ever seen in my life. It looked like the heart of Diablo Luto was no more than a strip mall. We passed through into the town and parked alongside a run-down diner with a tin roof. We got out, and I looked down the way and saw a large fountain surrounded by some very large, very old stone buildings. They looked very authentic. All the other structures were hastily built and placed. It was clear tourism wasn't a major industry in Diablo Ludo. Ivar led me across the way to a large hotel. Unlike the other businesses, it looked like someone had put money into it. It looked like a renovated old-time saloon. We pushed through the doors and stepped into a large bar room, or what once was a bar room. It had since been converted into a kind of makeshift lobby. There was a gray-haired old man leaning against the old bar, which had been turned into a reception desk. "Afternoon," the old guy said as he turned to see Ivar and me. "What brings you to Diablo Ludo?" "Is there a room available?" Ivar asked. The old man gave him a thoughtful look. "We're tourists." "Don't see many of those nowadays." So you do have vacancies?" "Yeah, we do. Let me get you set up," he said as he went around the counter and pulled out a large book and slammed it down. "Just sign the registry and I'll get you some keys." "2 rooms?" "That would be fine," Ivar said as he scribbled down our names. "Rooms?" I asked urgently. Do we really have time to kick back? Shouldn't we be getting around to finding your friend?" "It will be too hot to search today. If the demon cannot find you, we will be safe. We can afford to stop and rest at last," he said. I was about to argue, but I just then felt my fatigue and realized we really hadn't rested very much. My adrenaline had been keeping me running, but the truth was I would have ripped off my own legs if it meant I could shut my eyes for 5 minutes. "Here you go," the old man said as he dropped the keys down in front of us. I grabbed one and Ivar took the other. "Thank you. How much will this be? You staying just for tonight or longer?" "Just the night. 30 each," he said. Ivar nodded and reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. He slipped the old guy some bills and he waved us up to the rooms above. He nodded graciously, and Ivar and I went on up to our rooms. "Not much on customer service, are they?" he said as we climbed the stairs. There seemed to be only 5 rooms. There were 2 to our right as we got to the top of the stairs and 3 more to the left. I examined my key and saw that I was put in room 1, and Ivar went on to room 3. I bid him goodbye with a weak wave and turned to my door. I slid my key into the lock and pushed it open. The room was small and looked like a Wild West antique blowout. Frilly drapes on the window and a hand-quilted bedspread on the small bed. I liked the hardwood floor despite how it creaked with every step. In any other frame of mind, I would have campaigned to find new lodgings, but I was way too tired to fight anymore. I fell upon the bed, and my body felt as though it was deflating. I adjusted myself on the bed so that my head was on the pillow. I could feel my body sinking into the deep, pillowy linens. The persistent headache that had been slowly growing more intense also became more prominent to me, but I was too tired to care. There was a small fan set in the corner that was blowing right on me, which offset the heat. My eyes fell, and they fell fast. All I could hear was the constant hum of the fan and the lazy everyday activity of Diablo Luto. Soon all my senses shut down, and I was cocooned in a blissful peace. A loud, violent pounding on the door interrupted the silence. I jumped up and noticed it had become darker. I looked out the window, and the sky went from blue to almost purple as the sun was beginning to descend its descent behind the horizon. There was another knock at the door, so I got up to see what it was. I pulled the door open and saw a woman standing before me. She had on a canvas-colored shirt with a tight leather vest over it. Her hair was dark, and her eyes seemed to sparkle like stars. Her posture was aggressive and intimidating, a stark contrast to her delicate and feminine features, complete with ruby red lips. "Hello?" I asked. "Not like I pictured," she said frankly, and pushed me back as she came into my room. Her boots echoed a hollow thud as she strode past me. She looked around the room and back at me as though in judgment. "Do I know you?" "My name is Kassie Nova, Kassie to my friends." "You're Jake Corva, right?" she asked. The confidence in her tone and carriage was almost overwhelming. Just looking at her, I could tell she would be able to walk into about any room in any situation and command the attention of everyone there, whether they liked it or not. "Right, again. Do I know you?" "I don't suppose you do. From what I hear, you're new to the circles." "What the hell are you talking about? People in our situation tend to gravitate to one another. It's a professional thing, I guess. All accountants know each other, all doctors know each other, and then there's us, the demon hunters," she said. Her words caught me from the left, and I played them back in my head. "Demon hunters? That's what we are. We're a rare breed, Jake. We live between the shadows and see a world no one else believes even exists." "Is that in the brochure? I believe we were meant to have this lot in life. We balance things out. Mortals need someone to push back against the demonic bullies who would gladly eat their flesh. Don't you agree? I'll let you know when my brain catches up with you. I'm sorry, I guess I'm throwing a lot at you at once. It's just been a long time since a fellow hunter has been around, much less a Corva," she said as she sat down on the bed and crossed her legs over each other. Her eyes followed me carefully as I paced across the room. She was real. She had to be. I could smell her perfume. I felt the heat of her body in the room. "You're serious. Why would I lie about this?" "I don't know. It wouldn't be the first weird thing to happen to me, I'm sure. Did you come up here for something?" "Oh, right. I'm sorry. Just a little starstruck," she said as she got to her feet. "I wanted to take you out for a drink." "A friendly hi and welcome to town. How about it?" she asked. Her lips stretched easily into a charming smile, and I felt that warmth again. "Sure. Why not?"